Howdy folks. Kind of odd lighting here, but I've been out running a chainsaw and hauling brush with the family, so I am quite eager to call it a day. So I just quick popped up here, propped the phone up, and I'll read something from Off Main Street. And that's a collection of essays and magazine pieces I wrote over the years. Folks might not realize it, but one of the things I did to get my start as a writer is I did a lot of writing for a trucking magazine called Road King Magazine. And writing for Road King, two great things happened. One is I made a lifelong friend with the editor there, a guy named Bill. And the second thing is that a lot of those trucking stories led to other stories that eventually led to bigger and, I won't say better, just different things. But this is a piece that started with Road King and then wound up being for someone else. And what I did is I hitchhiked across the USA with truckers. And in order to do that, you got to show up at a parking lot and ask a trucker for a ride. And that's the excerpt I'm going to read tonight. The trouble with hitching a ride with a trucker is the lawyers. A truck wreck involving an unauthorized passenger is a litigation lollapalooza. Again, look good on the page, hard to say. And so most trucking companies have a no riders policy. I knew this when I showed up with a backpack and a notebook at the Truckers Jamboree in Waupun, Wisconsin, looking to hitch a ride on the Share America convoy to Reno, Nevada. By the time I got to Dave Sweetman, I was batting over and expected to be turned down again. If you can't risk the liability, I said, I'll understand. He looked me over, then stuck a thumb over his shoulder. See that? He said. I sighted along his thumb to the lettering on the side of his big green Kenworth. Owned and operated by David L. Sweetman. 3 million safe miles. He looked me square in the eye. I reckon I can make it 3,002,000. And so we put our tin in the wind. It's interesting what you feel up there in the prow of that big ship. Powerful, certainly, what with those 475 horses chugling along at your feet, the turbo holding its high, thin note, sucking down air, turning into miles, and blowing them out the twin stacks while the rest of the world sits still and falls behind. But you also feel a little tentative, a little out of control at the front end of all that length and momentum, like a flood victim sweeping downstream astride a duplex. And from up here, the cars, all of them, even the overblown 4x4s and SUVs, look flighty and irresponsible. They take on the nature of pests, and when they dart too close or linger too long in the vast blind spots, you want to chastise them, tell them to get clear for their own sake. They're like little piglets who fail to realize that while mommy may wish them no ill, they must give her room to operate or risk being crushed. As an owner-operator, Dave Sweetman owns his truck and leases his services to a car hauling company. Owner-operators are essentially self-employed. They enjoy more independence than company drivers, but they also have to keep a closer eye on the bottom line. Few are as established as Sweetman, and his truck, with all its accoutrements, including a stand-up shower, is not typical. Most truckers run with one eye on the road and one on the end of the month. Sweetman's business card reads, transporter of new Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Ferrari, Lotus, antique and classic cars, trucks, boats, airplanes, movie, TV, and celebrity cars door to door. He's hauled the Batmobile and the Fred Flintstone car. He's delivered cars to Puff Daddy, Lenny Kravitz, model Tyson Beckford, and spent quality time tooling around with Jay Leno. The priciest car he ever hauled was a 1907 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost, otherwise known as the world's most valuable automobile. When Sweetman eased it into his trailer, it was insured for $40 million. It takes a confident man to handle that kind of cargo, and Sweetman is a bit of a showboat. At Waupun, his tricked-out truck won a rack of trophies for which he feigned apathy. He says things like, absolutely. He speed dials his dispatcher on a voice-activated cell phone by barking, butthead. When he misspeaks, he lets loose a sharp tooth whistle as if he's summoning his runaway tongue and cracks, brain fade. He's not cocky, but he operates with a contained swagger. Then again, he has navigated 79 feet worth of Kenworth over enough miles to circle the earth 140 times, through 25 years of every imaginable form of ugly weather and ugly traffic, with nary a fender bender. all the while toting cargo valuable enough to finance a series of whitewater investigations in perpetuity. There's a reason they've trusted him with the Silver Ghost 6 times in 6 years. Wrote that in 1999, as maybe you can tell by the whitewater reference. Go ahead and look it up, kids. All right, voice a little hoarse again today from working outside, and maybe because I'm not performing as much, I'm not doing my proper vocal exercises. Yeah, man, little punchy after all that sawing and writing today, and between the sawing and the writing, it's balancing out. Anyways, I'm gonna head in and see the family. I hope you're all hanging in there, and that the rest of that story, man, that was a great trip. I made her all the way to Reno, riding with truckers. All right, take care of yourselves and each other. Forward.